Welcome back to episode 175 of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, dude?
And on the sticks, we got TJ.
Hello.
All right, dude. So we're back. It's been a week. A lot of stuff has happened over the week. And Token 2049, Ordinals, a.k.a. Ordinal Summit rebrand.
I guess we didn't get the memo or something, dude.
Yeah.
We've been talking about whenever the first, big Ordinals showdown occurs, it'd be nice to be there, right? But
yeah,
guess we weren't aware.
They jumped the gun.
You think so?
Well,
I think it's probably appropriate. There's enough of a community and enough happening in the ecosystem, right? Like people should be out there kind of like showcasing their contributions.
I would think so.
And stuff.
I would think so. It's just, I think they took advantage and they're like, let's rebrand this a little bit. And
well, it's kind of like a satellite event from my understanding, I guess, because the bigger umbrella event is Token 2049.
Correct.
So this is happening in Singapore as we speak.
Yeah.
Right. Real time. So these things happen in this industry, right? Like people get together, like everything starts off small, right? So this Ordinals gathering.
Dude, remember the Bitcoin conference way back in the day where it was like Andreas Antonopoulos giving his grand speech as he does?
Yeah.
Very good at it.
Yeah.
And then it pans out and there's like 6 people in the audience. There's like tons of empty chairs.
I wonder when that was, like 2010 or something? 2011?
Yeah.
It must have been really freaking early.
Yeah.
Everybody had like those anonymous masks on, probably.
Pretty much.
Actually, you know what? Domo showed up to this as an Anon.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is, I mean,
he had a full mask, or at least looked like a bandit.
Yeah, you got to preserve, I guess, your I don't know, your anonymity, even like in real time.
I wonder how that works logistically. Like,
what?
Do you show up with your mask on from the airport?
Like while you're on the plane? You mean? Like there's no traceability at all. It's like, you know what? There's some footage.
He's going back to Houston.
Yeah, you just see him like on an airport camera, like walking through. It's like, oh, that's him.
Yeah, because certain TSA has a problem with that,
right?
Yeah. I don't think you could just walk around the airport with.
Well, we used to go, 2020 masks on all the time, right?
Yeah, there's like a COVID resurgence apparently, or at least that's what the government's telling us.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're gonna show up, I think you risk your anonymity, and because if people want to know who you are, they follow you to the airport. You take off the mask, you snap a shot, and it's over.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little ridiculous in a sense. Like you show up in physical form, but like you just like I don't know, dude. Like what are you hiding from?
Shit, if you want to remain anonymous, you'd put on like that muscle suit, like under your shirt. It's like you present yourself like real huge.
Or you just like show up like on a video call or something, I mean,
yeah.
Unless it's just like, theater arts or what do you call it? Like not theater arts.
It could be sort of like a
social experiments or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, also, I guess the whole Anon thing does like it adds some kind of value to in certain respects, right? The whole Satoshi Nakamoto thing. Great little name. Great, like nobody really knows the true identity of who the hell came up with the bitmap theory and stuff like that. Same thing with Satoshi Nakamoto. So it's definitely split down the middle, right? Like whether or not Anon founders like add or detract value from something.
Yeah, I just think, dude,
we've had this conversation before, like a long time ago. Remember?
Yeah, no, I get it.
You're in the camp of like no Anons, right? Because it's too risky.
So I'm in the camp of no Anons until the technology's there, right? Until we have like on-chain identities that you can attribute on-chain identity with reputation. Yeah.
That's a great point.
And so not until then, I don't think it makes sense to have like anonymous, unless you're trying to protect yourself from like the government to a certain degree, which I agree with.
Yeah, there's that. And in this case, like for Domo specifically, there isn't like a ruggability like element to this.
That's true. There isn't.
Yeah, he just set forth like a standard, a framework.
Yeah.
And so there's really no risk of him remaining anonymous, right? It's like, what are you gonna do?
What's the implication though? Like, don't come up with standards, son, or we're gonna put you to jail.
Maybe. Like, what if this like just changes everything? What do you think how the world's elites would have responded if they found out like who
Satoshi was?
Yeah.
I think
considering like the disruptive potential of all of this Web3 crypto economy,
I think all the elites would have faded Bitcoin just like everyone else did when they first heard about it.
No, I know, but Talk about like nowadays.
Like nowadays,
yeah.
I don't think it doesn't matter if you like snipe Satoshi. Like Bitcoin's
can't,
not
like-
gonna like disappear.
You can't JFK
Yeah,
Satoshi.
you can't. You can't. Even if you did, it wouldn't matter. It
Yeah.
would make Bitcoin even more valuable if that happened.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Depends. Like, it depends, I guess, on how much influence you're kind of like, disseminating with your own words and thoughts and stuff.
I feel like this whole anonymous Satoshi thing was just like a happenstance,
Yeah.
lost keys situation,
Yeah.
something like that.
Right.
Because who has like the wherewithal to hold access to what $10 billion right now, and not like spend a dime?
Yeah, I definitely. There's probably like not a human on Earth who would like not succumb to that kind of like pressure.
Man,
I mean, it would be pretty difficult for most people to like not even like fuck around with it once, unless you're just like already super wealthy
yeah,
from previous endeavors,
yeah, but
or you're not human.
even if you're super wealthy, I don't think you have like billions of dollars liquid.
No, I know, but the ramifications. I guess like if some of it moves around, it's like
Sure.
somehow the whole thing is like fucked.
Yeah, I think
kind
so.
of like a lose-lose, no matter what. Like, yeah, I'm gonna like try and liquidate. Just 100,000, please.
Yeah, it's over. It's
Just
over.
a couple bitcoins, guys. Like, let me have some fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go on vacation, and they just like sells, dumps a little bit, and yeah, that 100K it's not worth like
Yeah,
dust.
yeah.
But is that really the case? Like, I don't know. Maybe this is like a pure speculation. Do people really give that much of a fuck that the founder of this thing?
I
is
think
like,
at first it would, and then it would just go back to normal.
yeah, it would be like market panic.
Yeah, it would panic. Exactly.
Yeah, it would go back to normal return. It would be like a fucking buy opportunity of a lifetime, probably.
Yeah, but then you're always afraid that Satoshi's gonna dump on everybody, right?
I guess that's true. I guess that's where the fear stems from, right? Because he owns like 10% or something of the supply or something like that.
Something close, like over 1 million Bitcoin.
Which could literally flood the whole fucking thing. So
Yeah.
that's true. I guess there is that component. I forgot about that. So
Yeah.
I guess it's valid to be scared of Satoshi.
But if you think about it, Satoshi mined Bitcoin as equally as anyone else is mining Bitcoin. He just happened to be first because he brought it forth, right? So
right.
I think if anyone should sell Bitcoin, it should be Satoshi, and everybody should be okay with it.
Interesting.
I would think.
Well, I mean, there definitely are a lot of Anon founders in this Ordinal space.
Yeah,
Almost everybody we've talked to who's like working on something has been anonymous.
correct.
The only like really non-anonymous like founders, I guess, is like the Xverse, Ken Lau, right?
Ken Lau, yeah.
And then, we got some bitmap devs and stuff who are, docs like IMSO Chris and ourselves and stuff like that. But the majority are definitely, they want to remain anonymous, right? So I don't know, maybe like our next interview guest whoever decides to come on, it's like a good question to ask. Like, why do you guys, not want to be public with your identity?
I feel like we did ask Archimedes that. I think it was like before the interview though, but
True. Yeah. It's just kind of like his response was just because I want to, bruh.
yeah.
And that's
Because why not?
perfectly legit. Yeah. Why
Yeah,
not?
that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So
So yeah, anyways, back to Domo and this conference, dude. So I don't know, like this is interesting. I've been kind of waiting to see this happen, like a little bit more like community formation, I guess. And we haven't gone to too many conferences like this. We've been to like a couple.
yeah, we need to go to the Ordinals conference.
Well,
whenever whoever sets that up.
so you don't think this qualifies?
No, you called it. It's a satellite event.
I know, but right now it's called the Ordinal Summit. That's kind of like piggybacking on some ginormous
Yeah.
event in Singapore. But by this time next year, it's gonna have its own damn
For
thing.
sure.
And it's gonna be
For sure.
called Ordinal Summit most likely.
Yeah, which is fine.
This is how like
Yeah.
Denver probably like started out and shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel a little bit of FOMO, I guess, just like missing out on all these talks. But we are getting leaks of like I guess unveils that are coming from this event.
Yeah.
We were talking about one just now. It's like just kind of like a cartel forming
Yeah.
around this whole indexing.
Something is definitely afoot here.
Yeah, and I say cartel not like as like some sort of implication.
Yeah.
It's just to really kind of like paint the picture.
Formalized group of aligned
Actors, right?
actors. There you go.
Yeah, these aren't like some small fish either.
Yeah.
These are some big, big players.
Yeah, these aren't nobodies.
Correct. So what are they doing, dude? What do you think's happening here?
All right, so Trevor and many others have been tweeting about this, here in the last, I don't know, couple hours. It says, Alex Lab BTC just announced a decentralized on-chain BRC20 indexer is nearing launch. Partnership with Domo, OKX, Unisat, Hero, and Best in Slots?
Best Ordinal Aggregator and Explorer.
That's one I'm not familiar with.
Okay. Well, somehow they made the Cartel cut, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. But nonetheless, there's definitely some sort of collaborative effort here, because this is a big problem. Ever since we got deeply involved, or not even involved, like deeply aware of what's going on in Ordinals and BRC20s, this whole indexing conversation is like a persistent one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It always is.
It has been. Who was it? I think we were talking to Ken Lau, and we were talking about indexing and how he sees the similar problems that we see, and like, do we be our own indexer, or do we like ask for help from other indexers? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And I asked him, I was like, what should happen? What do you think should happen? He was like, we need an indexer of indexers. And so I take a look at this picture, and I'm assuming this is a PowerPoint slide that somebody kind of took.
Yeah.
And it says here, leverages the unique nature of stacks as Bitcoin layer 2 to drive decentralized consensus on BRC20 indexing. So this is interesting because I was getting the sentiment that BRC20, like the standard, is very not fun to work with. And it almost seemed that this needed some sort of update to increase its functionality. But I don't know. But it implies that there's going to be heavy players adopting the BRC20 standard,
or at least like pushing it, right?
Or pushing it, yeah.
Even though, like you're saying, it might be technically inferior, which it is to a lot of follow up, I guess, attempts at creating some sort of fungible token standard.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that is because Benny, he comes out with tap tokens and tap protocols, and with that functionality, he's able to build on top of the BRC20 standard with his own standard.
Tap. Correct. Yeah, and then we see the efforts of the Yoshi team and
exactly.
They're trying to. There is this sentiment in the air. It's like, we want to make the tokens on Bitcoin a little more smart.
Yeah, do something
smarter, I guess.
Yeah.
So
it just seems...
can that not be done though, like by fully leveraging stacks and this whole smart contract?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that. It
kind of seems like a prelude, it seems, this whatever this organization, this effort, this cartel, whatever.
Yeah,
that probably is like the end game. Is like we're just gonna force everything to stacks.
Yeah, but there's some issues with that, and I'll show you here. So BRC20 events are validated by a group of pre-approved off-chain indexers.
Okay.
So that you have to qualify. To be part of this ecosystem, this integration.
Qualified by who?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So who does the qualification and why? And
it's probably it's got to be stacks, right? I'm thinking, or this initial group of whoever's formulating this concept, which is heavily influenced by stacks and Alex Labs. And
this whole pre-approved thing. I mean, it goes against this word decentralized. So
agreed. Yeah. Well, I guess
depending on the implementation, of course.
Yeah. And that seems to be like a common occurrence in Web3. It's like the overuse of the word decentralized, even though that might be like a future goal or objective. Is eventually get off the ground some sort of a.
I agree. We need to be intellectually honest when we're talking about our products.
Yeah,
we have to be clear as to what it is and not what it's going to be. Unless you say, this is what it is going to be.
Yeah, this is what it is right now. Yeah. Here we are. We've done some cool shit, right?
Yeah.
Us, Unisat, OKX, we're ballers.
Right.
We've done a lot to this point. You should kind of trust us in a way, right?
Because it's cool. You're using it already, right?
What?
Yeah, Unisat, for example.
Yeah, Unisat. A lot of people use OKX. And whatever the other entities or actors that are supporting all this, right? So, and that they will be the pre-approved off-chain indexers because they're already indexing things for us.
Correct.
So it's like, okay, there's a little bit of trust there.
Yeah.
But at some point, we're going to, distribute this down the line. And
Correct.
Eliminate some of that need for trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like you're saying. That's more honest, and I feel like it's just remove decentralized and more like centralized, decentralized to be or something. I don't know.
Decentralized to be consensus on BRC 20.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
but outside of that, okay, because you understand like the indexing issue pretty well.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think about it probably too often. I'm kind of sick of it, really.
I bet, dude. Actually, I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought you would like love this stuff.
You know,
I know you like to solve problems. Period.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is a big one.
This is
this is a big one.
This is a pretty big problem for sure.
Yeah, so I thought like you go to sleep like fantasizing about the next like breakthrough solution. Is like, dude, this is
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not fantasizing about all problems, right?
Of course not, dude. Who the fuck? That's too much stress.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill you.
So the indexing one, I don't know. I feel like there's, you know, once you're past the indexing part, let's assume that's figured out. Yeah. There's a lot more cool stuff happening.
Fuck yeah.
Right. And so those are the problems that I'm inherently more interested in.
Yeah, but it's like one of these. It's like kind of like the same thing we were confronted with by developing in the Metaverse space. It's like there's a lot of this, a lot of like waiting around for people, waiting around to see like who's gonna fix these big problems.
Yeah.
Correct. And then we did that, and then we saw like it doesn't look like anybody's actually like aware of what the problems to fix. It's like, okay, I guess we gotta figure out how to solve this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, focus our resources and development efforts towards that. So here we are now in the Ordinal Space, you know, and it seems like eerily similar, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I guess in this case, somebody is addressing the core issue, right? So
yeah. Through cartel forming, I
well,
suppose.
Yeah, I guess whatever you want to label it as, but this definitely seems like a powerful enough force to where it probably is like, you know.
And it seems like a cool design. So let's talk about the design here. So on-chain indexer verifies the event through stacks and accepts and rejects them. Wallets and dApps can query on-chain indexer for valid events. So take a look at this. So we have off-chain indexers, sort of like Track, Alex Labs, so contributing to this smart contract-based on-chain indexer. Now, to be clear, I'm not sure what this looks like unless it looks like the graph.
What do you mean by that?
Because I don't know what the mechanics and the logic is for an on-chain indexer, but because it's connected to stacks, I'm sure there's not a whole lot of overhead here that's going to make things expensive just to like query on-chain data.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, this smart contract-based on-chain indexer is interfacing with the stacks chain, right? Sidechain.
Yeah.
And it's also interfacing with wallets and dApps.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stacks is the one interfacing with the Bitcoin blockchain, as it has been doing since like 2013.
Something like that, 2014, 2013. Yeah. It's been a while, yeah.
So the way that I understand this is that Bitcoin, in this like image here, Bitcoin's perspective, all we're doing is just sending sats to each other. That's it, right? There's nothing crazy happening. It's just Satoshi.
Pretty easy to like interpret.
Yeah, that's like, all that's happening.
We all understand what's going on with Bitcoin. Yeah.
So Stacks is picking up all that information. It's like sats are going from one location to another.
Yeah.
And then here's this new thing, right? It's called Ordinals. And hey, those sats that are being moved around, they're actually representing pictures and text and all this other stuff. And like we're gonna be the guys who recognize the pictures and the text, and we're going to supply that information to this smart contract-based on-chain indexer.
Okay.
And so as you have Satoshis being sent around, there's another portion of those Satoshis that are actually ordinals. And so both of these pieces of data get fed into this on-chain indexer, and your wallet now has like, you have Bitcoin, and then you have like ordinals and pictures and all that stuff.
Right.
So it's a pretty reasonable design stack here.
Okay. And like, what is the ultimate, like, because like we were saying in the beginning, this doesn't like add, I mean, it's just the fact that there's a smart contract like process that on the second layer, like that's what kind of like adds to this decentralization dilemma of indexing, or
yeah,
what is like the big main like value add for this? It's like now all off-chain indexers are just kind of like,
that's true. What's their incentive to contribute to this?
I guess it's like an alignment type deal, right? So that we can have more consistency across indexers. Is that what it is?
Well, I guess I guess here it is. So you have your own indexer because you're doing something with pictures, right? And so you need indexing.
I got hella frogs to inscribe.
Yeah, and not only that, not only do you have hella frogs, but you need to tell others what's happening in your ecosystem.
Right.
Right. So you're a participant of this off-chain indexer. I am supporting the bitmap ecosystem, and there's a lot of stuff happening on the bitmap ecosystem. I'm indexing all that stuff, and I also have to supply that. So we're not necessarily in competition, but we need like a single source of like data query, which is this smart contract on-chain indexer.
So it simplifies it, I guess, for the developers. Like you don't have to individually hit up these indexers one by one.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to make like dApp development much more seamless.
Correct. Because your wallet dApp needs to account for all the craziness that's happening in the Ordinals ecosystem. And they cannot go and like request data from all these like metadata indexers.
Correct.
So, I mean, we're presenting a problem here that's being solved by this like technology stack.
Okay. So
it's not so much that you and I are indexers and therefore we're competing with each other.
No.
We're on our own side of the community doing stuff.
Yeah.
And we need that stuff to be accessible by wallets and dApps.
I mean, this is very similar to the graph, right? The way you broke down the 100%. Graph to me like years ago.
100%.
And I
remember it like it was yesterday.
I was equally as confused, and you were equally as like
enthused,
fully torqued about talking about the graph. Dude, I was like, what is it about the graph that like you're so like interested in, right?
Yeah.
It's like because I guess it solved a big problem, and so these off-chain indexers essentially are like individual subgraphs.
Yeah, GraphQL, so subgraphs. That's right. Right.
So it's up to the duty of the indexers to maintain those subgraphs, I guess.
Yeah, and
I think it's a little less like elegant, obviously.
Oh yeah, way less elegant.
This
thing.
Yeah, the graph is like there's way more complexities. There's a lot of like because it's actually like an attempt at a decentralized process to maintain all of this type of
Dude, that's why I'm so bullish on the graph. Like the more we talk about it, it's like
it feels like you're the only one though.
It does feel like that.
Even though like it has real utility and real use.
Yeah.
Like we've used it in the past and it fucking works.
Yeah. We've used it organically, not because anybody was pushing it. It was just like it was the solution.
Yeah, it was needed. And then we were developing something and like, our developer was like, this shit is good.
It's like
I needed this.
Yeah. This is the only way we could do this is like using GraphQL.
So essentially, you're right. We did have this conversation with Ken Lau, CEO of Xverse. Is like, we're all kind of like perpetually stuck in this like infrastructure stage until we get past this point.
Yeah. So that's funny you bring them up because I was thinking it's like, we're talking about cartels and it's like, I don't see Xverse Wallet part of this list here.
Interesting.
So
Hero and Unisat are.
Correct.
I guess they didn't make the cut, dude.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we should reach out to Xverse Wallet and create our own cartel.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. We're just going to tweet that we're in a cartel too, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like, we're here too.
Partnership with everybody else.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel that. I mean, nonetheless, whatever you want to call it. So this is needed. It's a good thing, right? That there's collaboration happening and people are putting their heads together to, actually address this because otherwise, we're perpetually stuck in this like static error or something like, low liquidity environment for ordinals. Like, it's just kind of like, it's just ass. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, it is.
It is ass, but
a lot of that,
but we can foresee like, a much more glorious ass on the horizon. If we can figure this stuff out, right?
Yeah.
And obviously this is like super boring to most people. It's like the technicals that 5 years from now, nobody will ever like know even exists on the back end type shit.
I'm glad you brought that up because this super boring stuff is important to understand now when it's boring, right?
Yeah.
Because this is how we understand the value of these things coming together.
Yeah.
And we're able to predict these things. We've made so many predictions that came out true. It's because we understand the problems, the tech, how it's going to come together, and like why it comes together and why it's important.
Yeah.
And if you understand that, you can place your bets on where the most entertainment is going to be had.
That's right.
So
that's the good entertainment index for sure.
Did you know that we're more than just a YouTube channel? We also built Mscribe, the first inscription platform built from the ground up for the metaverse on Bitcoin. Connect your bitmap ordinals and use our tools to bring your community into the virtual realm. Support us by joining the movement at mscribe.io. Like, comment, and subscribe for the latest alpha. Back to the video.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's why I definitely feel a little bit like when we see these things develop, because we missed a lot of this on the Ethereum side, right?
Yeah.
I think the most, as far as like infrastructure to, the Ethereum ecosystem, because we came in around 2019.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I guess we kind of like witnessed unravel or like, fall into place before our eyes was the layer 2 thing, because there was like equal, like, there was a definite huge problem in the room, an elephant in the room. It's like, dude, it's like, we're all having fun, building NFT projects and stuff and trying to build games over here, fucking Hearthstone copycats and stuff like that, all on chain.
Yeah.
But we're definitely creating a problem here. We're clogging everything up. So it's like, come on, devs, figure out a solution. So we saw that, but the whole indexing thing was already kind of like in play. So
it was.
Yeah. So we didn't really get to see like those little pieces come together, right?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't think anyone was like historically tracking what was the development of Ethereum and
that'd be nice. Like a nice little documentary. Somebody should. Maybe we get like
for history. Yeah.
Yeah, so you like history now, dude.
I do have a lot of respect for it. I do.
There
now.
you go, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder why you did it in the past, dude. I guess
I don't know why.
It's like science.
Yeah, I didn't connect why it was important. Why history and learning and understanding history, why it was important to know.
Interesting. Even like while you're in school and stuff, you're like, dude,
even
just
then,
faded
this
history.
Is so
completely.
boring. It's like, why are we talking about shit hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago? Why?
Interesting. See, I never came to that conclusion. What about you, TJ? I'm just curious. Like,
I love history.
There we go.
Even like in high school and
fellow
shit?
history, bro, dude. Yeah, dude. It's just fascinating.
Why? That's it? It's just fascinating.
Well, it's fascinating, but it's also useful in the sense.
No, but was it useful when you were learning it in high school though?
No.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to know, like, dude, shit happened before I was even on this earth.
Yeah, that is.
And like, it wasn't just like little things. It was a lot of stuff happening. Like, we're talking about, fucking genocides and whole civilizations, birthing and falling. And it's like, dude, so much has happened.
Yeah.
In the span, probably like in the universe perspective of blink of an eye, like all this.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and now here we are, dude, talking about fucking, VRC20s and ordinals and stuff.
I guess I found it hard to connect the reality of history versus like my imagination of that history. Because when you're reading the books and you're learning about history, and they're talking about war, you're just imagining it.
Yeah, they're just stories to you at the time.
Yeah, they're just stories. And I didn't connect the story to like an actual tangible physical manifestation of an event.
Really? I mean, you could have just like watched a movie or something about it,
Yeah, even then,
like Saving Private Ryan,
Yeah, I mean it's very good.
Yeah, how do you not watch that movie and like want to know more about World War II? It's like, how the fuck did all this get started, dude? Why are dudes like washing up on this beach and like getting mowed down by machine guns? Why? Why did we do this?
But you were having those questions as a kid, though.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Well, dude, what happened? And then you start to investigate and you learn. It's like, oh, dude, yeah, there was like a global depression at some point. And that led up to a lot of despair. And then in those moments, people can kind of like, put out propaganda, like new ideas, while everybody's like looking
panicking
for something. Yeah. And then before you know it, somebody very, very evil comes to rise in power and then it gets this close to world domination.
Yeah.
That's it. And then in response, we build like nuclear weapons and now we're all like perpetually in a fucked state because we're living like a perpetual gun to our head.
Yeah, that's right.
Because of our own selves.
I don't know. I just never had that question as a kid. I was more like interested in like Counter-Strike or something. I don't know.
Well, same. Well, I mean, that's just, I don't know. What you went to school.
I did.
Right?
I did go.
You told me you had no interest in nothing?
Zero interest. Well, not in nothing, but zero interest in history. Yes.
So then what was the thing in school that like stood out to you? Definitely wasn't crypto. Didn't exist.
Definitely not. I don't
definitely
know.
wasn't. You had no interest in finance or economics.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of weird how you ended up here.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, it is weird.
It's like you had no interest in this stuff, and like here you are, dude.
Huh.
What about? But you did say gaming, so it makes sense that you're here. Pushing this metaverse.
Yeah, I definitely spent a lot of time gaming.
Same.
Like a
Same
lot.
here, dude.
It was so much where I don't even remember like a good 5 or 6 years, because it's too much into like Counter-Strike and what else?
5 or 6 years, huh?
Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, I was about to say, try like 15, 20, dude. Try like my whole like adolescence. Like it's just a blur. Because all I remember is like hot summers playing World of Warcraft, sticking to my chair.
Yeah.
Like that's what I remember, dude. It's like, fuck. So yeah, that's the thing we definitely shared as far as like, experience. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. That's
Right.
why we're so
Yeah,
foolish.
but you were still asking questions about history, and I was not. That's, I guess, the crux of the conversation.
I guess I'm just that much cooler than you, dude. I don't know. When you ask deeper questions about like things like science and stuff, and
Oh yeah,
physics.
I was
shit,
always interested in science.
I mean, I majored in it, but I really was never really that interested in it.
Yeah, I guess my deeper inquiries, like you were asking why history and what happened. I was more like, why does this work like this? Like what do you mean mass has gravity? Like why?
Yeah.
Light speed is the fastest thing that we could ever, measure.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So those were my questions.
How did all those questions not lead you to like, you know what? There has to be a God. We're going into like a religion.
Yeah, now we're going deeper, dude.
I know. That's the thing. That we're kind of like re-exploring like the existential angst of like late adolescence.
Yeah.
Because I remember those times, dude. They were fucking weird and dark.
They were weird.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what? Yeah, I'm sure everybody experienced that at some point in their life. Where like all of a sudden your brain just becomes too self-aware,
Yeah.
too conscious, and you're like, oh shit, like what the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, you're trying to
Where am I?
You're
Why
trying
am
to
I
look
here?
for the shit that matters.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to find.
Yeah, and you definitely can't get like too caught into that like either, right? It's better just to kind of like
Because then almost nothing matters.
Whoa.
way to like melt everything in like one line, dude. It's like nothing matters. But yeah, that's like nihilism, right? That's like a whole like branch of philosophy.
Yeah, nihilism can actually be good.
Yeah.
Like if you leverage it correctly.
Oh yeah, I could also like
It's like nihilism is like, well, if I don't do this, if I'm gonna die anyway, might as well do it.
yeah, but that could be like interpreted.
Yeah, a million
that's
different
definitely
ways.
a double-edged sword. It's like, you know what? Nothing matters. Like, why can't I just like kill everybody around me?
Right.
You know? Like, oops. It's like probably shouldn't put that out there, dude. So
This is definitely gone off track. We're off the rails here.
I know, dude. Yeah, it's because we've been doing a lot of interviews and stuff lately,
Yeah.
so we haven't had a chance to just like
talk it out.
Just-
I was like, have a
get the angst out.
Yeah.
We've been busy, dude.
have a sesh.
Have a sesh. Yeah, we definitely needed a sesh. So so speaking of gaming in the metaverse,
Right.
there's been some big developments over the week.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call this a development. It's just
it's more like speculation and likelihood.
yeah. Whenever the headline hit that Animoca Brands was investigating, I guess, or exploring the potential of the metaverse on Bitcoin. So we made a video about that earlier in the week
Mm-hmm.
because that caught our attention. Obviously, right? It's like because we understand
Yeah.
the gravity of Animoca Brands.
Yeah.
They're a force.
Yeah. They, we're talking about physics. They have a lot of mass.
Something.
They have a lot of gravity.
They have a lot of electromagnetism.
Yeah.
A lot of pull, right?
They do.
And we've witnessed like we watched them. Like you said, we came around in 2019, and they were like a baby at that stage. I would say like they did have their hands on a lot of things, like the sandbox,
Yeah.
and like different like NFT things and games and stuff like that. Probably Axie Infinity too.
Yeah, I remember looking at them way before they were involved in Axie Infinity, and they had a bunch of IP that was like relatively small. Like
Yeah, I thought so too. But they were definitely like the most staunch like person like actor in the room in support of NFTs and the metaverse, and
they had a pretty strong reputation with like the investment community. Like everybody, like all the investors were talking about Animoca. Is like,
yeah,
you got to pay attention to them.
Agreed. So yeah, we literally watched them like as like a little larva, and like they fucking metamorphosized.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Right before our eyes.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible seeing it because
they're worth $6 billion now.
Yeah,
like within like 4 years. It's incredible. Yeah. This is definitely one of the darlings of the Web3 space.
Yeah, 100%.
Animoca brands.
Yeah, they're definitely a force.
Yeah.
So they were going to a panel, and they were talking about, it's called the Bitcoin Metaverse, and we saw that, and we were like,
I wonder what that means.
What is that?
Yeah.
And as far as we can see, there's no other Bitcoin Metaverse other than Bitmap.
Yeah, but you know what? I think maybe. So yeah, we put out the speculation, right? Like once we saw the headlines, we're like tweeting it out. It's like, this has to mean that they're looking at Bitmap, right?
Yeah.
What else could that possibly mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if not, then if they're exploring, eventually at some point they're going to come face to face with it.
Yeah. They're going to watch our podcast. So like,
well, yeah, and then see the vigor behind the community on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're going to become aware. So it's kind of like, what's going to be their response, do we think?
Well, there's two options. They become aware and adopt, or I guess three options. They become aware and adopt, they become aware and they fade, or they just completely do their own thing and they don't even.
How would they
acknowledge
adopt,
it.
though? What do you mean? Like, what do you
I don't know. Just build for it, right? They're talking about Yatsu in this TED Talk. He talks about an open metaverse. I mean, it's in the background.
Yeah.
Right? So how more open can you be other than what's been presented with Bitmap?
Yeah. But then, but once you actually watch that TED Talk, he talks more about the components outside just the 3D spatial stuff.
True. Yes.
He's kind of like wrapping an umbrella, like everything that's been kind of developed in Web3 up until this point is at some point going to manifest into the metaverse. Like DeFi.
Yeah.
Everything. That is all the metaverse.
So that's
components of an open metaverse.
Yeah, we were having this conversation. It was like, that's fun to say, right?
Yeah.
It's cool to say that everything that's been happening is part of the metaverse. But what does it look like? That's really what people are wondering when they inquire about the metaverse. So it can't be just like Web3 DeFi and call it the metaverse. It's like, what does that look like? What is the difference with DeFi today and the metaverse with DeFi? Right. And so my point is, people are wondering what that looks like. And it could be, you know, 3D space, just like we're kind of accustomed to. It could be what Apple's envisioning, where it's like, it's the internet except spatially.
Yeah, but I think it's like probably more challenging to put like a visual like definition on the metaverse, right? Because I think it is going to be like infinite in scope and interpretation.
Yeah.
So, but I think what he's identifying here is like really the killer breakthrough of the opportunity of the metaverse is like economic liberation for human beings.
Yeah.
Right. Or at least like a new avenue for that to happen, to occur.
Correct.
That's probably like one of the main reasons why we're so deeply interested and personally invested.
Yeah.
You know, because we see that, we've been seeing that opportunity, right?
Yeah, because if you watch our video talking about Yatsu and Animoca and Bitcoin, we were talking about how taking like the internet, the geographical limitations that we have.
Correct.
And then combining that with the metaverse, and all of a sudden you have like this digital existence versus a physical existence, which are limited.
Very limiting.
Yeah, it's very limited.
Yeah.
And if you take your very limited existence and you virtualize it, all of a sudden it does sort of like 100x, as we've seen.
Or more,
or more, as we've seen with anything that goes from analog to digital, does at least 100x.
Yeah.
And so the potential for the metaverse is just a play on history. It is recognizing what we've seen in the past in history, seeing analog to digital transform things to 100x, and then just applying it to the virtual space.
Yeah. And then he also like incorporated something we've talked about a lot in the past, is like, the economic opportunity is a big thing. And then once people will start taking notice is whenever like the GDP, I guess, of like these collective, these digital societies like start to outcompete like what's happening in the physical world.
Right.
And it's already technically happening, I guess, if you use this definition that he's using as of the open metaverse. So it's a big deal.
See, I find that definition or that interpretation of the metaverse weird, because you and I can access the DeFi sector of the internet. Just like anyone with a website or with internet access can access that same website.
Yeah.
So what's enabled with the metaverse component to it? In my opinion, I think what's enabled is like the multiplayer aspect. It's the social multiplayer aspect of us, swapping tokens in the virtual space together.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to pinpoint exactly.
Because I mean, dude, anybody in the world can access DeFi, right?
Right.
So what does the metaverse enable? Just a multiplayer component of it.
Well, I think it's like at that point, DeFi just becomes complementary to like the metaverse experience in itself, right? Because we're gonna need like a financial infrastructure and like these pillars of monetary exchange and lending, credit, all these things that exist in our real lives.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to exist in the digital space too.
Do you see it more like role playing, because typically it's like I need to swap tokens. You go to Uniswap and boom, your tokens are swapped. But if we're in the metaverse, we're kind of hanging out. We're doing what we're doing here, but virtually.
Yeah.
It's like I need to go swap tokens. That means I need to go to a teleport like virtually, and we're going together. We're going to like this kiosk to swap tokens. Like, are we role playing that we have to go to this place versus just typing in uniswap.io and that's it?
Well, I mean, possibly.
Right? Is this a role playing thing or
possibly? Because you could easily just build in like something as part of the interface, right?
The interface,
a pop up prompt. And it's like, okay, now you have
maybe
you have a DEX interface at will.
Yeah, maybe something as primitive as like swapping tokens. Yeah, that's probably you look at your virtual watch and there's like your interface of like swapping tokens there.
Right. Yeah. So.
But
like it's some kind of gesture, you're like, to pull up like a menu of different apps within the app of the metaverse, right?
Yeah, because what makes more sense is that, hey, let's go play this activity or let's go mine this thing. And we, do it together as we, talk about the podcast or whatever.
Yeah, and I guess he's definitely right in the sense like maybe we don't need too much hardcore emphasis on like this whole like super 3D immersion.
Yeah.
Interpretation of the metaverse, right? And if that's the case, then we are actively already in, an open metaverse ecosystem, right? And there's different ways, I guess, to access it and experience it. So I kind of agree with him on that sense. So that's why Animoca has like such a ubiquitous presence, right? Because they're spreading their chips like across that whole landscape.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like, once we start like fading the 3D aspect of the metaverse. And once we start like normalizing that fade, I feel like there's no conviction, right? And when there's no conviction, it's like the metaverse is all around us already, right? As soon as the word metaverse got popular, it's like Roblox and Minecraft and Facebook and Twitter. They're all metaverses.
Correct.
It's like, I don't think that's accurate, right? That's just like people piggybacking on the trend.
Yeah, but it is like the closest thing we can like really point to as far as like, again, like these are legitimate digital.
I mean, but if you what do all those things have in common? They're social.
And like you're saying, the multiplayer element.
Yeah, they're multiplayers, but very narrow-minded, very narrow like functionalities.
Yeah, we were just talking about like our own like I guess gaming addiction past.
Yeah.
Right. So we've already experienced. We don't have to be fully like in a virtual environment, like
Correct.
Have the 3D tactile experience and everything in order to for our brains, I guess, to fully subscribe to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other factors at play that come into that. So
yeah,
obviously the metaverse is like this huge endeavor. It's a lot of work. It's hard, right?
It's very hard.
But that's the point, is like now they're exploring this on Bitcoin. So there's a lot. And this is a good signal for a lot of reasons, right? Because
it's a very similar signal to investors like Safirmian investing into Xverse Wallet, and the conviction that they have on the Ordinals ecosystem. It's starting to spread, as we said it would.
Yeah,
Animoca and these huge brands, other investors are probably looking to the Ordinals ecosystem as well.
Yeah,
and so this is just another kind of step in that direction.
Agreed. It's a validation moment for sure, and like it definitely should make people way more enthusiastic to build.
Yeah.
For the Bitcoin ecosystem.
There should be now a lot less hesitation to build.
Yeah. Yeah, like we always talk about developers and how tremendously
Yeah.
valuable and useful they are, and like they have to expect some sort of ROI
Yeah.
for their efforts, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, like they're not going to do it. They're not going to participate and contribute.
Yeah. Agreed. So yeah,
because they shouldn't. Because it's like they could do anything really with that ability to program and code. You can literally do anything. You can build anything. So why focus your efforts on ordinals or Bitcoin?
Yeah. Even the community is still relatively small. Like why? You do it why? Because Animoca, because Fermian, like these other investors are putting in money into this space.
Yeah.
Right?
So like the backing is it's on its way, right?
Yeah, it's on its way.
Because that's necessary. We see it in all of tech.
Yeah.
Like all these AI startups and shit.
Right.
Like that's like the honeypot.
Yeah.
Right now.
All of a sudden, every single project is an AI project.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have AI some kind of spinoff. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, we're gonna AI your cereal in the morning.
Yeah,
or something.
that's right.
I don't know.
It's gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
It's gonna console you.
And then the VCs are eating it up, because there's just that much bullish sentiment. For that sector.
I think you who was it that shared a meme from Chamath?
Yes, it was. Oh man, can we look at it?
Yeah, let's see if we can find it. This is great.
Yeah, it's just a nice little. It definitely kind of like hurt me a little bit, hurt my feelings. I was like, "What?" You'll see why too, because it's like, fuck. We've seen this happen. Yeah, this is gonna be tough to find, dude. Can't even find his Twitter profile, dude.
Hold on.
I feel like you're spelling his name wrong.
It's Chamath, right?
Is there an N there?
I don't know. I think so. Oh, here it is.
Haha.
Chamath.
Found the problem. You're not the only one who likes to fix problems, dude.
I'm assuming it's a recent tweet, right?
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, let's play it in its full glory. It's only 44 seconds.
Come on, brother. What's up, fam?
Generative AI getting all the love.
Nice to meet you.
Mary Woodbury.
Nice to meet you.
Jay Martell.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Tasha Robinson.
Come on.
AI enabled.
Of course, AI getting all the love, dude. And then watch this.
Emily George.
Metaverse platform.
Fuck that shit, dude. Nobody wants no Metaverse platforms no more, dude. Custom large language model, dude. All in.
Yeah.
All in, of course.
About that.
Superconductors.
Basically NVIDIA, right?
Yeah.
Start from the bottom, now we're here. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
15-minute delivery app. NFTs. AI wrapper. So this is a regular project, but with AI on it.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like a pivot. It's like somebody like pivoted to AI. It's like, you know what? You're into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So that's pretty accurate. That's the state of like the VC environment.
But you know what?
3 or 4 years ago, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago, it was reversed.
They were giving us
NFT.
hugs, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Metaverse, you're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I remember everyone was like, dude, this is like the next thing.
Yeah.
Entertainment, finance, everything's going to be revolutionized.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The narrative sold themselves.
Correct.
And then, of course, VC money fucking poured in like a fucking, whatever you want to, poured in.
Yeah. And as quickly as it poured in, it poured out.
Yeah, it just seeped out and went straight to the AI lads.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's right.
So this is how it goes, dude. So, but nonetheless, there is, it's going to come back.
Yeah, it is.
Animoca is exploring. We know there's other entities out there, other big name VCs out there also looking at the Ordinal Space.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. As of right now, they're just kind of looking because it's definitely still too early to like make any kind of like solid commitments,
It is. It is very early.
Yeah. So all you guys building for Bitmap, dude, and Ordinals, I mean, Bitmap specifically, because it's tremendous what the community's already kind of like accomplished
It is.
up until this point, and like the pace of development is surprising.
Even though we predicted everything that's happening, it's still surprising.
Yeah. I guess the thesis was, this Bitmap idea was going to be like the perfect thing to, I guess, galvanize a community of developers to contribute to this thing called the Metaverse.
Yes.
This open Metaverse. Because, we understand like the scope of how much of a task, constructing it is. It's massive.
And even if a project, raises a ton of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they claim that they're going to build the Metaverse, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the right one or the one that works or the one that gets traction.
Of course, yeah.
Right. And so it needs to be crowdsourced. And we need a framework, a platform to crowdsource the metaverse. And that's why we're so bullish on, like, within 15 minutes of learning Bitmap. It's like, this is it.
Yeah, we thought for sure. Like, if we felt this way about it, then we knew other devs would you know, also gravitate to it. Yeah, because we can't just keep building these like silos.
Yeah, we can't.
We already know that's a problem, so we're not going to go anywhere until that gets solved, right? So this is without a doubt our best chance, right?
Yeah, and then we have people like Jin who's been building open source metaverses for a while now, and it was open source. It's like, well, why didn't that catch on? Like, why couldn't people just like leverage open source tools to like make a metaverse?
Yeah, and
it was largely because we needed some sort of like understanding called standards that gave everybody a starting point. And I think that's what Bitmap was. And so now we can leverage tools like what Jin had provided, sourced all together, and start building that on top of Bitmap. And all of a sudden you have equal chance to figure out what is going to be that metaverse thing. What's going to be the Twitter of the metaverse, right?
Yeah.
What's going to be the app, the killer app for the metaverse?
Yeah.
So we have a chance now.
I totally agree. Yeah, like the best thing we could do is just figure out these mechanisms to attract as much developer contribution as possible, because all that's going to do is, you know, increase the probability that the killer breakthrough moment happens as a result, right? You increase the
likelihood, the chance.
Yeah, like the participation goes up.
Yeah.
You know, again, probability of eureka moment goes up as well. So that's what Bitmap enables, in our opinion.
Yeah.
And there's no better environment than, Bitcoin itself to kind of like get this ball rolling.
Yeah. Which chain is better than Bitcoin, dude? It's not Ethereum, TJ.
Cap.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you're going to make some enemies, dude. Yeah. These Ethereum guys are no joke, dude. They'll fucking kill you. I
can tell.
They'll take you down, dude. Yeah. Like at the next conference.
Yeah.
Shit. You're going to have to like somehow.
You're going to be the one walking around in a mask.
Yeah, dude. You got to protect your identity.
Dude, I feel like John Wick out there, dude.
Just slaying all the ETH boys, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Damn. I didn't know you had it in you, dude.
I told you Bitcoin was interesting. It's been interesting. Now it's just like obvious.
Yeah, it was a total snooze fest, dude, without a doubt. But right now, it is the most interesting. I feel like probably, I don't know, maybe moving forward. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Ethereum is not, it's not like it's everything else sucks all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah. Like they still provide tremendous value in all this. So
Sure.
Now, the ecosystem has just expanded a little bit more.
Yeah. It's just a little bit more snoozy over there.
Potentially. I mean, they're doing big things, dude. Big things.
Speaking about big things, we should probably look into Ethereum and see what is happening, because
it's not a bad idea, dude.
I thought everything paused whenever Ordinals came out. I thought they hit pause over there.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Everyone's just like watching now, right?
Yeah.
It's like everyone cease all building. It's like this Ordinals thing is happening. Like,
right.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, but we've had this discussion, we polled our communities, like, do you guys want to just stay?
And it was 50-50.
I know, right?
But
so how do we finesse this?
There was someone else who asked the same question for their community, and it was also 50-50. I think.
Yeah, and I think like whenever Jake interviewed us, he kind of like was asking like how do we figure out like our like balance or our niche, I guess, like how do but I guess the response is we kind of just go wherever our interest takes us.
That's exactly right. And I think whatever is interesting to us, we think would be interesting to other people. And we could be totally wrong.
I feel like for sure, but I definitely feel like this, because we've been on that pathway for like our whole, podcast existence for 4 years, roughly.
Yeah.
And we've hit like different tranches.
Yeah.
We were just kind of like coasting along. We found DeFi.
Yeah.
And then like the early, I guess, audience was like, dude, DeFi is cool.
Right.
And then we kind of like started moving around a little bit more. Once we figured out DeFi doesn't have any tokens, so like fuck this shit.
We found Cybertruck.
Cybertruck
for one video.
Oh yeah, one video, dude. Let's live stream the Cybertruck. That's true. Yeah. Our interest went that way.
Dude, I'm so glad we captured that, our live reaction.
Right. So what? Yeah, I mean, so what are we saying here? Do we want to get to the stage like at some point, like as a channel, as content creators, so like we could like just talk about anything? Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway is just talk about what you like.
Yeah, I think so.
Not trying to like refine ourselves to like this corner, just because But then we have you guys listening and watching this because you're deeply engaged on this Ordinals movement, right?
Yeah, and then if we just talk about anything, we become more like personalities, and I don't know if I really jive with that.
What do you mean?
Like,
what's wrong with that?
Remember
dude?
what happened with like Ethan Klein?
Oh, HHC.
Like that used to be like the most hilarious YouTube channel ever, and
Mhm.
then he got so big, and then now he was like talking about nothing.
Yeah, he turned into like a political shill, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
which
I don't know where you go from there, like a comedy channel to like how do you make more comedy? Like that's hard to do.
Yeah, exactly. He's like
So he had to pivot.
he pivots to basically it's like whatever he's interested in that moment. It's like
Yeah.
this is the content
Correct.
of the day.
Correct.
So yeah, I guess
I guess what he was interested in, I was not interested in. So
exactly.
So,
So
yeah.
he lost the viewer. He
Correct.
lost an audience member.
correct.
So it's kind of like if we on this perpetual like slither where we're just like looking for other things to be interested in, but before you know it, we're talking about like fucking, I don't know,
We have like a future president
a future president.
in the podcast.
Yeah. All of a sudden we're talking politics like
Yeah.
nonstop, dude.
Nah,
Then
I-
everyone who's like been watching us for years, like, what the fuck happened to these guys? Why are they talking about the presidential race and like live streaming debates and
Yeah.
shit? Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden that's what I mean. Like so. It is definitely like a weird equilibrium.
yeah,
that
but we're talking about Ordinals versus Ethereum, right? So I mean,
yeah,
it's
not that stretch.
it's not that big of a stretch.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, there's going to be interesting things happening on Ethereum. We had Friend Tech there for like a week, right? Right, TJ? It was a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I remember Friend Tech.
That was fucking great, dude. Fucking Frentech. Yeah, we have e-scriptions. So much
Okay,
shit is
yeah.
actually happening on there. Tom,
Yeah,
Shout
Tom
out
is going
Tom.
ham, dude.
he's already got like a whole fucking virtual machine deployed,
Yeah,
dude.
he does.
But we're not talking about it because it's not Ordinals. So fade. And that's kind of what I'm getting. It's like I don't know. I don't know if we're doing the right thing. Like because ultimately, like this whole Web3 thing is going to be multi-chain without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's the future, right? So it's like maybe not being too uber focused on like one chain.
Yeah, I agree.
It's probably like not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think in the audience? in the
I feel like
comments?
if I was an audience member and I was watching like,
our channel.
yeah, this channel, I'd want to know whatever is interesting at the time. Because I would trust us. I was like, whatever you guys think is interesting, it has to be interesting.
Yeah, e-scriptions are interesting.
They are.
Even though it's not Ordinals, but it's still part of this umbrella narrative
Yeah.
of DMT
Yeah.
and digital artifacts, all these things that have the potential to be like the main killer points of like the next bull cycle, right?
Yeah,
Like these
that's
are
right.
these are the new innovations emerging, the newness. This is the newness of the Web3 space, right?
Right. Right.
And yeah, even though it originated from Bitcoin and Ordinals, doesn't necessarily mean it's just going to stay there.
Yeah. Correct.
You want to see this thing like expand. It's like a little fucking virus, dude. It's spreading around.
Yeah. Of course you want to see that. Because
So-
then
yeah,
that virus spreading gets more devs.
Yeah.
More devs gets more content.
Yeah, and more content means
More talking. More
For us?
YouTube. Yeah, more
we're talking
YouTube
for
videos.
us, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
We could be talking forever, dude. It's
Yeah.
gonna be crazy. But yeah, man. So I don't know. I just had to like get that out. A little bit of like I have like internal conundrums all the time.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of them. Because as much as I really love and I'm interested in seeing this Ordinals thing progress.
Yeah.
I do feel like a little bit of like internal like shame because I feel like we completely abandoned
Yeah.
everything we've also been deeply engaged with for the last several years,
Yeah.
But
But
that's just me, dude. I'm overly
no,
emotional.
I
and
definitely
stuff.
feel that. I definitely feel that.
ETH has a way of pulling you back, dude. Always.
It's trying to suck me back in, dude. I can feel it.
Once you go Bitcoin, you never go back, dude. It's just how it goes, dude.
Wow, dude, that should be a fucking shirt.
Yeah.
That should be a shirt. That's perfect. What did you go Bitcoin? So then, is that what we were doing? We're not going back or what?
Well, I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, it's not that we won't go back. It's just like what's interesting that's
like-
going on over there.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton, dude. There has to be. We haven't even like looked. We gotta like spread the curtains a bit, dude. You know?
All right, if you're in the Ethereum ecosystem
Yeah.
and you
Let us know, please.
oh, you know what? Tao's interesting.
Of course, yeah.
Dude, that's like beyond interesting.
You're talking about Potensor, right?
The tensor, yeah.
Yeah, of course that's interesting.
That's like
you know,
extremely interesting.
yeah.
Like that's like bitmap ordinal level interesting.
I totally agree. So is the evolution of DeFi. Where is
Yeah.
that? Where are they at this current moment?
Where are
know?
you, DeFi?
Yeah, what are they up to over there? You know, how are they making DeFi better?
Yeah.
How are we-
if they are making it better.
They have to be. You think they all just like gave up? It's like, come on, dude.
Well, the SEC is in the house, dude.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, the SEC has been losing. But anyway, that's for another conversation.
Yeah.
If you're in Ethereum or Avalanche or any other ecosystem with something interesting happening,
Mhm.
let us know.
Yeah.
Because if it's interesting, we're definitely going to talk about it.
We're gonna try our best.
Yeah, we'll try. And
Yeah,
hit
'cause-
us up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Mhm.
And share this with some friends, some close friends, friends that won't fade you after watching this video.
Dude, that would be pretty shitty, dude. It's like somebody suggested our video to a friend who's like, I lost my friend because of you guys, dude. You think I'm a fucking weirdo now, dude. It's like, what the hell? Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that share results in more friends
Yes.
and more good times,
Yeah.
more
More
happiness,
entertainment.
joy, all that shit, dude.
All right. That's it for us. I appreciate it. And we'll catch you in the next podcast.
Peace.